Yes.
You stuck corn and cheese. Brilliant. I may do that for kids.
No.
Is there designated sitting places?
Walker here, just right here.
Sit wherever you want to sit.
Yeah.
Where are the kids? Are all the kids coming?
No.
No? Oh, really?
No.
The kids aren't coming.
I might be the youngest here.
Ah.
You cross too many to through.
You're very welcome. Congratulations.
We're the kids.
I think you're gonna have more cheers than me.
I'll jump over.
It's gonna be hard.
I bet it's a good one. Yes, exactly. She has his
All right, ready?
Take as many as you want, Jeff.
Go right here. Hold on, real.
I saw.
Jeff, we're gonna do one without the spouses, just their children, mom and dad's children.
Okay, ready? Here you go. Okay, ready? Keep it right here. Keep when people to play behind you.
Wait, are we doing like arms like this or straight down, girls?
I'm just trying to hide my arms.
Everybody smile. There you go.
Cheese.
And keep going.
Can I have a
It's like a giant selfie. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's gonna prop you back. That pose. Keep looking here.
Should we all look down? Yeah, let's look down.
Everybody look at mom and dad. Aw, they're looking at each other.
They're gazing in each other's eyes.
Aw, love.
That was out there. Sorry.
Hey.
Doing nothing. Last one. All right.
Jeff, Dad, Mom, I don't know if you can see us. I wanted to thank you for being married for 50 years. That's quite an honor. This isn't my speech, it's just the intro to the speeches. We have about an hour left of our videographer, so we wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to say what they wanted to say. And since Marianne is the wisest of all the siblings, and Charlie is the other wisest, if if you feel comfortable, spouses coming up to say something, you can. There's no pressure if you want to. But siblings, Marianne, if you want to start us off, and we're gonna. Yeah, we should do the prayer first, and maybe Dad, would you like to lead us in the prayer?
Carrie and Nick, you want to say a prayer right now?
Lead us in
Sure. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you.
Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which are about to receive, and bound in Christ our Lord, amen. Provide and protect for us. We also thank God for bringing us together, and especially at this very important gathering. 50 years is hard to believe that it has passed that fast, but so much was done, so much has been accomplished, and it all came through the grace of God. Amen.
Amen.
So whoever's going to be giving toasts or speeches, this is the greatest spot to stand at because you can see Mom and Dad, and also the photographer or the videographer can videotape you.
And I'll be in the background.
And Mike will be in the background of all of them.
You don't have to look at me. I just want to say I'm so blessed to be one of your children, and congratulations on 50 years. I should hope for that, and we're working towards that. Halfway there. But I just wrote a few things down that I didn't want to forget. Thank you for showing us how to balance responsibility and individuality in our lives through giving us freedom to stretch our muscles, even when it causes us to knock grape juice on the white curtains and ruin them forever. Or showing us the importance of charity and compassion when visiting Santo and Socorro, or your Franciscan high school teacher at the nursing home. I'll never forget the peacock there. That was the reason I went. But thank you for everything that you've done for us, everything you've given us.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I could be here to celebrate with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that you came down.
When Mary Ann referenced the Kool-Aid, it was the color that was
Grape juice.
grape juice, and it just accented as kids, you know, and it hit the drapes.
Which were
When we lived on Almeria Street, I says no problem. I'll just put it in the bathtub, and you'll just take it out. So I took it to the bathtub and took it out, and also the grape juice came out of it, but also all the little stuff that made it, the fibers that made the
That kept it together?
that kept it that made it look like a curtain. So it came out like a wet towel. So we did hang it back up in memory of Mary Ann.
Well, do you remember how it started though? Somebody said, "Show me your muscles." So I said, "Sure." Grape juice goes. Sharp elbows. Sharp elbows. I haven't changed.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Teresa,
Teresa?
Am I next? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, Teresa's
but
next.
I'd like to be somewhere in this.
Oh yes, you'll have your turn after the siblings, or do you want Aunt Helen? Charlie, are you okay? Want to go?
He says siblings first and then maybe spouses.
Should I just right here? Hi, Mom and Dad. I just want to thank you for all your examples that you've shown us, your dedication in the marriage through sacrifices, which now we know, being in our marriage, what it takes. And marriage is not easy, but somehow you made it look easy. And I want to thank you for you giving us our faith, because I believe that that's the strength that gets you through anything. And thank you for being our parents, and we love you very much.
Help you. What a relief, huh?
Yes.
If you could get this far, you could go the whole way.
I know, why not?
Okay, so at 10 o'clock last night, I had a chance to, in the silence of my home, write. I know some of you have received emails at 3 in the morning and 10 at night, and it's the only time it's quiet in my house. So I wanted to first thank each person for coming to Mom and Dad and being part of Mom and Dad's life in our lives. I think it's your example that sustains us in our marriages and sustains us as individuals. So an extraordinary marriage of 50 years. Dad, since your surprise birth as a twin, his mom didn't know he was pregnant with twins. Or I mean, she was pregnant with twins. Since your surprise birth as a twin in Sudbury, Canada, your life was destined to be one filled with amazing and unexplainable accomplishments. Building a successful business and a church, helping many people and organizations, and the greatest of all these accomplishments, which all these accomplishments I don't think one person can do normally. The greatest was finding Mom, a beautiful nurse from Danbury, Connecticut, whom you met on a blind date in Phoenix. Mom was not a typical woman. She was amazing, like you. Educated as a nurse, keen with details, and had a heart of great compassion. As a bonus, she was Lebanese and liked to cook. And I could only imagine on your first date what was going through your mind. This beautiful woman with a cute little Eastern accent, and she's Lebanese and cooks. You know, I could only imagine. And Mom thinking, oh, he's handsome, you know. You committed your life together in the church in front of the cross on a beautiful day in snow, with snow covering the ground and the sun up above. December 31st, 1966. I've been a little sleep deprived. Your families set the example of faith, a faith-filled love, your mothers and your fathers. Tonight, I thank your parents for the example they were to you. With courage, you welcomed 8 of us into your loving arms during a time when big families were the oddity. Marianne, Peter, Teresa, myself, Nick, Jennifer, Christina, and Mark. You weathered our childhood, adolescence, puberty, the high school years, and the college craziness like pros. Always having confidence in us that we would make the right decisions, trusting in God that He will protect us always, even in Mexico, Turkey, Germany, the Middle East, England, and the many other places that we'd been to that we didn't even tell you about. You were right by our side during the dating years and marriages. You were supportive of every spouse, in our good times and bad, always encouraging us to go beyond our own inclinations and put love of the other before our own desire to be loved. You were there on the first day of life for each of the grandchildren, as excited about the, what are we on now? 24. As excited about the 24th grandchild as the first. Your joy is in the children, and it is seen in your eyes, your smiles, and in your whole being. Our children are so blessed to have witnessed your love. And now here you are, 50 years later, standing in a room of not just your children, but your admirers. Your marriage lived out the gospel. God is smiling upon the both of you today because you served Him through each other in your marriage. I love you. Thank you.
Can I add a footnote to what?
Yes, please.
Joanne, when Joanne and Teresa were in Mexico, we took that as an opportunity to go down there, Mom and I, to, there's someone there. So we went and stayed on the same Cuernavaca in Mexico, and that was a place where a lot of the students went to learn Spanish and live in the community and learn the culture. But one thing Mom discovered as we were taking the railway or the bus system there, at every stop, Mother saw this word Salida, and she said, "It's a funny thing. All of these streets are all named the same in Mexico." So Teresa and Joanne straightened us out. And what does Salida mean?
Exit.
Exit.
I don't know where to get off. I'll just look for the Salida. I'm like, no, that's not a place.
Yeah, we enjoyed it wherever our children were. We wanted to be there with them. So we took that as an opportunity, even when we were in Lebanon and doing working in the orphanage there. We were able to, Peter was in Germany, so we stopped in Germany, and he gave us a great tour of Germany and Austria. And then we jumped down to Lebanon and then Syria. So those were opportunities we made up because you people were there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick?
I didn't have a chance to really go over this. Or really even read it. We were driving home last night, and we've been so busy these last few nights that she was typing as I was driving, talking. So I hope it turned out right.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Thanks, Jeff. So Mom and Dad, when I think of the admiration I have for both of you, one of your qualities that stands out the most is the way that you teach by example. I will be forever touched by Dad's stoic determination to be a faithful father who serves his family above himself, and Mom's heroic patience, quick to forgiveness, compassion, caregiving, and gentle heart. I learned later in life that these qualities are not easily achieved, but worked for, and involve a repetitive gift of self. We all benefited from your commitment to marriage and family life, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you. You were always there for me when I needed a listening ear. You were there with a kind heart when I needed to be loved unconditionally, and a firm word when I needed to be corrected. These later years, when I was striving or while I was striving to find my vocation, I never felt alone because I knew you were always there. I'd like to think that as the years go by, I automatically become wiser, somehow by age, that wisdom comes, right? But wisdom doesn't come by years alone. It comes by watching and learning from good people like Mom and Dad. You know, it can be shocking to hear as a boy people come up to me and say, your parents are saints. Well, I really didn't hear that much from other people. What about me, right? Yet this happens repetitively now, and it's something that I think of automatically when I think of my parents. Your desire to serve the church, the unfortunate and the distressed, as well as your steadfast commitment to seek peace in stressed relationships, helps convince me of your pathway to sainthood all the more. I admit, growing up, I thought I would never want to be like Mom and Dad. But today I truly admire you both for your virtue and strive to learn from and live my life like you. I pray that God may grant Carrie and I back then 50 years of marriage. If so, I will be well into my 90s. And I pray that at that age, I will be as motivated as you are to continue to strive for the narrow way. So I invite all present, I was told this is a toast, so
Yes.
Raise your glasses to Mom and Dad to honor their marriage and the love which they live their lives. May we all learn from your patience, kindness, and love, and most importantly, your faith. We wish you many more years of happiness. Hear, hear, Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Beautiful, Nick.
I'd like to add a footnote to Nick's beautiful words.
I mean, you're
Nick's room was right across from the kitchen, next to the refrigerator. We noticed an awful lot of food missing in the morning.
I usually find a dish in the sink.
The giveaway. That's right.
right.
And later on, Shirley discovered some dry salami in his top drawer in his room. And further, she discovered more food. And, like, it was stored for a future time. But that was beautiful. We didn't buy that. It's a habit that hasn't
You
changed.
wonder why he has digestional problems.
It's the salami and cheese. Who knows how old it was in the fridge? I'm in the drawer.
Mom and Dad, who knew that a blind date on a whim set up by Aunt Agnes would lead to 50 years of marriage today? I've only witnessed 41 years of your 50 years, but I can honestly say that I'm the luckiest daughter. I stand here truly humbled and inspired. You both gave me life, but you also taught me how to be the best person that I can be. You two are the most humbling, loving, successful people that I know. And because of you, I know that I can always love more and strive for more. There are so many times that you did things that went without recognition or even as simple things. And I now would like to thank you for all of those things that shape us to be the Davis family that we are today. I put together just a couple little childhood memories that kind of made me smile, just little flashbacks. The Winnebago ride cross country, listening to the Glenn Miller 8-track, Chattanooga Choo Choo. Whenever I think of Dad, I think of that. With Mom in the kitchen, the smell of the parsley, picking the parsley for the tabbouleh. And you said I was good at cutting the tomatoes, so I was the tomato chopper. Shopping at Broadway and Macy's and Fashion Gal, looking for good deals. And then the exchange students, Tomas from Germany, and who remembers the Japanese Yukiko from Japan, and how much we used to tease them. Father Max with the incense and going into the church and that incense filling up the whole church at St. John of the Desert, the old St. John on Osborne. And then doing the Debki at the Lebanese festivals and Cedar Club, just fun little memories. I can go on forever with memories and thanking you both for every value and gift you have given me. And I hope you realize how thankful I am to be blessed with you both as parents. Your love for each other gives us something to strive for within our own lives. The values that you instilled in us serve to be foundations for our adult lives, and without your example, we would not understand the true meaning of love and family. You both need to know that everything you have done and sacrificed is something that we appreciate more than anything else in the world. Happy 50th anniversary. I love you both.
Christina, before you start, I want to tell you one thing I enjoyed very much when Jennifer was at the U of A and they had a Father's Day event. I tell you, I look forward to that, enjoyed that so much. Just to be, to have one-on-one, the time and the place to be together with a daughter, I felt very honored. And she took me around that campus and showed me all the events that she was involved in. And the house mother was so kind to me and said very nice things about you. So, as a parent, you feel good. Thank you.
Hi. I'm number 7. I think lucky number 7. I got thinking about 50 years. It's a long time. What was the most impact, or what was the biggest thing that Mom and Dad have done in the 50 years? And I stopped and thought, gosh, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their parents. So I wanted to say a special thank you for your parents for bringing you here. And none of us, my siblings, my siblings or my parents' grandkids or my nieces and nephews would be here if it wasn't for them. So many people's lives have been affected and will always be, and that will continue to go down the line. So for me personally, I think the biggest impact that you guys have done is to sacrifice to have all 8 of us. And it is a sacrifice. I have 2 small dogs, and it's hard. So I know, I can't imagine having kids and 8 of them, and what a sacrifice that would be. So I'm thankful and I'm blessed that you guys decided to put aside a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't, to give up and have 8 kids. And not just have 8 kids, but take care of us the way you guys did. So thank you for that. And I hope someday I will have a child or something along those lines and pass along the tradition.
Number 7. Wait a minute.
Number 7, you better stay there.
Last but not least.
I know, I recall when Christina got a scholarship to go to Phoenix College on soccer. And the ironic thing is they were practicing soccer and playing, it seemed to me like in the early spring when, we couldn't even sit on those aluminum benches to watch her. And here she's running back and forth, kicking that ball, and we were sweating. And you can imagine how to get a scholarship, what she had to do. So I respect that. I admired that very much. And then when you went to school in Florida to get your PA, and that was, we had a great time with you along the beach and going to all the different food places. She knew all the good food places. and we had just a wonderful time. And then what really admired is when she was going to school, I thought she could do better than that, but just she looked like she struggled in high school. And then all of a sudden she's in this PA school and doing fantastic. So you could see what talents, the gift you already had, and it was coming to life. And we could see that very well. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
The caboose.
The caboose. Number 8. You have to stand
Little
up.
one.
Yeah. We all had to move. The baby. And Helen. The baby. Here he is. The big baby.
Bring Bridget out.
All right. So, a good idea on adding the toast thing on the end. Might piggyback on that. But, yeah, so I prepared a couple thoughts on my phone, so I might be looking. I'm not checking emails but if, anything comes up. So, can you imagine it? In December, you always tell a story that had just snowed right before you guys got married. I remember my wedding day, like all the little special little pieces of it that kind of made it special and all that. But did you guys even think, like, what would the world be like 50 years later? Like, in terms of, like, I know, you couldn't. I mean, you're just trying to, like, survive your wedding day and see what the world brings you. And that's kind of the crazy thing, is the world brings you a lot of things that you don't know what's coming. And that's we'd be foolish to say we know what the future has ahead of us. And so I think it's really neat to know that you guys opened your arms and allowed for what that future road would bring you. And so, yeah, so the interesting thing is, from my perspective, you've only been married like 37 years. So, and another interesting fact is the longest recorded marriage is actually 91 years and 12 days.
Oh my God.
And so it's interesting because there's, it's all about perspective. And so one interesting story that keeps me in perspective is my mom always talked about how when she was having kids and such, she'd pray to God and ask God, for for things and such and whatever, and she'd always say, well, God, you rested on the seventh day, and I should too, with the seventh child. And I'm like, Mom, I'm the 8th. I don't get it.
See, he told me, surely I have a little surprise for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So thanks for not resting on the 7th kid.
No words are shoot. Christina, with the baby.
So marriage is a lot of work. Kids are a lot of work. It's just insane, and it's and then work is a lot of work. And that's one of the things that the neatest memories I have of growing up is not just having 2 parents. It was really always having effectively a whole gang of people that would look after me and stuff. And that was definitely an interesting memory because what you did to the older kids really, especially Marianne, you were always. I just definitely remember you, I think, doing the morning routine and the nighttime stuff, and probably, and Pete, doing his thing. So those are fantastic memories, and then also a lot of memories of working with Dad and going out on the weekends. And even this morning I had to get up early and go do a little project somewhere, and then just a little memory of getting up early and having those exciting little trips to go do projects with you. That was always very fun. And And so that's, those are really good memories that really helped shape, where we are today. But, what really kind of sticks us together and really sticks, Rachel and I together are really the family and the faith components that you try to emphasize a lot on. And you have to make that decision because it just doesn't normally happen. I mean, there's a lot of distractions out there. That's what, you got to look at in big picture. So you have to kind of make those real decisions to really turn towards that. And that's, it's really, it's really, that's something that you just don't wake up one morning and say, I'll do this today. It's something that's kind of, given to you a little bit by bit, as you grow up and as you surround yourself with really inspiring people. So, raise your cup that is not in my hand, and a toast to 50 years of a beautiful marriage, and for all the way to break the record of 91 in 13 days. You never know.
And live to 100.
Live to 100.
Live to 100 and be married at 10 years old.
I know, I don't know about that.
At this point, if any of the spouses would like to come up and say a few words.
Joanne, I just want to add something to Mark, that the greatest of everything is love. When you have love in the family, you can conquer it.
So do you want to say a couple words?
Sure. Should I just stand here? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Come up there. Mom and Dad, you guys obviously you have a legacy through me as well. I mean, we are, and I'm sure I speak for my other in-laws here. I'm blessed, because of the parents that you guys were. I mean, Marianne is a tremendous gift, and I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank and praise the Lord that that you guys brought her to this earth, and I was blessed enough to move out to Arizona from Chicago and meet this beautiful girl, and then you guys welcomed me into your home. I mean, I mean, there's so many things that have come out of it. I mean, I remember, the first dinner over at your place, and Marianne bringing the yogurt over on her herself with her jewelry, reaching across the table, and going to Pizza Hut with the whole family. So it has just been a blessing to be part of your family, and you guys always welcome me like I'm one of your own. And heck, for parts of the year now, we're roommates too. When I come out here, so you literally open your door to me when I come out here. But really, the work you've done with all the kids is, I see it through Marianne. Here, we go back to Chicago. She's loved. I mean, she's had a big impact on the community that I'm in, and my family as well. I mean, she takes my mom to mass. She does all these little things, and she had a great example of what you guys did, and all of the commitments and all the things that you do for others. And I see it through all the kids. I mean, you guys are very blessed. You raise the children well, and they married well. I mean, they're friends. All these spouses that we've come, Mansoor and Bouchard and Dylan, and we've got Carrie, another Irish person, and Rachel. So it is just fabulous. So what can I say? And then too, just real quickly, I mean, talk about impact. For me growing up, Thanksgiving was turkey, mashed potatoes, everything. So, and you know, now it's kibbeh neye, all these Arabic foods, and really this is the first year in a while where we got back to a little more of a traditional Thanksgiving, and I was like, gosh, babe, I like the other, I like the Arabic celebration better. But Mom and Dad, thank you. You guys are just a great example of humility, giving, love, and what can I say? I'm very blessed to be a part of the family. Love everybody here, and here's to another 50 years.
Are there any other spouses that wanted to? Dan would like to say a few words.
Congratulations. I would like to tell you how much of an inspiration you are to me. When I met number 5.
I can't remember her name. Number 5.
I was so impressed with the love. I have one sister, and I love my parents to this day, to the bottom of my heart. But they didn't stay married, and to see you and your family and what you've accomplished has been amazing to me. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your daughter with me, and I can see it every day when you're with the grandkids, how much love you have in your heart, and thanks for making it to 50.
Thank you.
There's some people who probably just, oh, look at, we happen to have been married for a long time. But it seems to me that you had a mission to your marriage, and you set a course out almost like a train track, and the rails were faith and family. And you had your ups and downs and challenges and inclement weather and health issues and whatnot, but you stayed on those rails of faith and family. And I met someone recently who knows you, and she said, oh, Shirley Davis, I know Shirley Davis. The Davis family. I love the Davis family. And every time I meet someone who knows you, it's not Paul and Shirley, it's the Davis family. And it was, you have crafted this family of love and faith around you, and that's what your legacy is for all of us. So thank you for your number 8, and for all of his siblings and their children, and the lesson that you've taught us.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for bringing me into the family. I'll never forget, I drove out here February 14th, 1999 with a big U-Haul, and I'll never forget, Mom. What is this? What is going on? And they all helped me, didn't even unload the truck. And that was, and we stored all my furniture outside by the pool.
Under the canopy.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. But thank you very much. Your inspiration to us all.
Thank you,
we love you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
From the Mansor fans.
Michael we were unloading ahead that ramp, on the back of a U-Haul, and Joanne was carrying the microwave or the TV and missed the step.
Oh yeah.
Halfway down. And I remember somehow I turned around and grabbed it.
Yeah.
I forgot the rest of the story. Where did you land?
It's all a blur, Dad. It's all a blur.
It doesn't matter, remember it.
I landed on my head. I don't know. Yeah, but the microwave was there, so it was okay.
We saved the microwave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Carrie. I'm married to the 5th. Right? No, you.
6.
I'm married to the 6th. Yeah, I
You're
thought
the
he was
5th. Oh my
the
gosh.
5th.
Dan, you're
Oh,
married to the
sorry,
6th.
Dan. I was like, wait, that doesn't work. You just and I'm very grateful to be married to Nick and to enter this beautiful family, and how amazingly warm you've all embraced me and my family into all your celebrations. They are so grateful to be a part as well. Mom, I greatly admire your patience with everyone and just your positivity that everything's going to work out. And I came recently from an environment where everything had to be very regimented, so I have a little bit of that in me, and then I get into your house and it's like, oh, that's right, we're the Davis family, and everything's gonna be fine. We're all just gonna try our best, and everyone's gonna stay happy too. And so Nick has that in him too, and so that really helps balance me out in life, and I'm very grateful for that. And of course, just your compassionate nature is something that I'm hoping to grow in your cooking skills, and so I'm soaking all that up and learning it as best I can. But Nick definitely has those skills as well, so I'm grateful for that. Dad, you have that planning in your head where you're always thinking outside of yourself and thinking of others and how help them, how we can bring joy and love to their lives, and just one step ahead. And a fun story I like to share about that also includes the faith. So we had a opportunity to bid on this Super Bowl party that we would have at Mount Claret Retreat Center. And of course everyone loves getting together, watching for the Super Bowl, their favorite teams, but thinking of the faith and wanting to be such a great influence on the kids, he wanted to bring them to the chapel at Mount Claret at a good break time to help them to see the full experience of that retreat center and have a time to pray together. And he timed it just right, so the last one was walking out the door as Beyonce took the stage for the halftime show. And she was like, what's that? And then they're like, no, we're going to pray. And I just stood there with my jaw dropped. That was impeccable timing that he got them to a beautiful, uplifting event instead of one that might have led to distraction. So that's just amazing. You have that gift of always thinking ahead like that, and how can we be influencing, molding these young minds for thinking on the things above, everything that is lovely and good and beautiful and true. And so thank you for that example. It really holds a high standard for all of us to try to do with our kids and our grandkids, God willing. So cheers to that.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is there anybody else who would like to? Did the siblings already have a chance to?
No, I'd like to.
Aunt Helen, the wisest of us all.
Aunt
Helen is the
Well, thank God that he spared me this long to
Yes,
see you.
no question.
Now I'll have to tell you what started the Davis family. She met Shirley, your mother. She met my dear brother at your aunt's place. Right, what she did mention. But prior to that, I was living in San Rafael with my darling George, you remember, my husband. And I get a phone call, and it's Paul, and he's bringing his date. And I thought, oh my, okay. So we waited, got them there, and the nice conversation, and I thought, isn't that wonderful? I'm a retired nurse, no, I wasn't retired then, a nurse, and he's marrying a nurse. And then I thought, well, let me see. Maybe she isn't the right one. So my brother brings her over, my darling Paul, for an approval from his oldest sister. And so we talked. Do you recall that? Coming to San Rafael?
Yeah.
You brought her over. And you took me aside. What do you think, Helen? So now you're all here.
The witness.
And with all the attributes that she has, and being a nurse, by the numbers, and that's what's happened in the family. And that's why I wondered how she was going to handle 8 children at the time. No, started with, there was 5. I thought, oh, my darling George. I said, honey, she's a nurse. In the morning, they had, one was in charge of the washer, one was in charge of this and that, and she had it all, isn't that right? Scheduled. I thought, oh, no wonder. And then 8, It was a breeze. At least when I look, and here she was. And honestly, it's only my darling Shirley that could have handled my dear brother, Paul. She's more of a sister to me.
Yes, we're sisters.
I am the lucky one here. I'm the blessed one. Have Shirley and Paul 33 years for a friend. All the memories, the stories, 8 children, all the parties. I don't think Joe and I ever missed one. We've been to all of them. But there's one that really sticks out. That was Joanne's graduation, college graduation. Paul had planned this big party, a picnic, and we had a beautiful table, beautiful surrounding, and Paul had a bucket of chicken, and huge. It was loaded with different kinds of chicken. And we sat down to eat, and it rained. Paul grabbed the chicken and ran to the car, and we continued the party inside the car. And the chicken wasn't all that wet either. It was okay. But what a blessing it was to be there to all your parties. The little one, I got the cutest picture of you and me. I gotta give it to you. So thank you, thank you, Paul and Shirley, and bless
She came to every graduation.
And I was, thank you, God bless you.
Thanks to my brother Joe, Ursula and Joe were an ideal couple, and they lived as brother and sister because that's the way they wanted to be, and I have high respect for that. And they never missed a birthday party or a graduation. And then when we went to the graduation for Joanne, we had a motorhome, so we brought we put all the food in the motorhome. Am I right?
With a truck.
Or was it?
Big truck.
Yeah, or the Suburban.
Yeah,
The Suburban.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For someone else.
So Ursula, that was special for us
Yes.
to have you in the family.
And thank
We
you very
felt
much.
very,
I
very
feel
open in the way you
lucky.
and Joe did.
A merry anniversary. Let your hearts be light. From now on, may troubles all be out of sight. Have yourself a merry together. Born from faith devout, you showed us what selfless love is all about.
I want to say that when Shirley and I first got married, you have in your mind how you want to live, what you want to, what kind of life you want, and you learn that from the experiences growing as a single person. So I remember every child that we brought, that Shirley had, and we brought home, we loved them so much. We would hug them and kiss them and just couldn't get over how they would respond to us. And I said, I got to keep that same pattern up because they respond to that. So that was a lesson in itself. Just, first time when you have your own child, it's different than someone else's. And you become responsible. You become, so I said, boy, I want to, every time we had our supper at home growing up, I made sure I was there. Even though my work was not finished, I said, well, I can go after the kids finish their meal, and I could, Shirley was very good about that. I could go back to work or get up early in the morning before the kids went to school and then come back home when I could. So those are the, there wasn't really the sacrifice. It was a way of life, becoming responsible of what you have to do. So that, I felt those were strong elements in making a success and making sure that we both were true to what our commitment is. You want to say anything about that?
I'm just so happy everybody's here and to enjoy this special day with us. And I thank you for everything. I thank you for all your kind words everybody said. And I'm just happy everybody's here, including Mrs. Mansour.
We want to thank very much all the people that are responsible for making this whole weekend, including Marianne and Charlie and coming down here and having Vicki Marie with us. That was great.
Ma'am.
So,
I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my brother and my dear sister on their 50th anniversary. It brings back a lot of memories. And then I do want to mention that how proud I am of them for having raised a wonderful family, and I'm so grateful because where would we have Christmas or New Year's celebrating with them and enjoying Christmas, Thanksgiving, and everything? So it's a joyous, it always was a joyous time. But I also want to thank my brother Paul for instituting the legacy that his dad had. I remember my dad very well, and my mother. And I have to say that my brother Paul has pretty much put it in fact. The family, it was always the family came first, and faith. Faith first, family. And I want to take this opportunity to be grateful for this get-together. I thank you all, and I love you all.
We love you too.
Thank you. We love you too, Jen. Are you leaving?
Yes. Marriage, it halves your pain, it halves your sorrow, doubles your joy, and quadruples your expenses. And then, in your case, it would be octuple your expenses. And octuple your expenses. And then there was one other quote, I thought this was perfect for Mom and Dad, and that was that love is not staring into each other's eyes, but both eyes staring in the same direction.
Yeah.
I thought that was what what Rachel
Oh,
was
that
saying.
is beautiful.
That your eyes were on the same direction for faith and family, and you understood suffering, and that suffering is part of the package. Without that, it's not fully loved. Okay, thank you so much, Mom and Dad. We love you. Happy
Thank you.
50th anniversary.